Florida Tech softball is on the air tonight from Nancy Bocke Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It is a huge Sunshine State Conference series as the Florida Tech Panthers welcome in their neighbors from the west in Hillsborough County, the University of Tampa Spartans. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. Jason Miles with you on the Panther website, FloridaTechSports.com, along the SSC Digital Network. So, really, tonight there are two big series of the SSC. The other one is Eckerd at Rollins. Eckerd is in second place in the conference with a record of 17-4, and Rollins is in fifth place at 14-10. So that'll be a good matchup. And this one should be a great matchup because Tampa and Florida Tech are in a virtual tie for third place in the conference. Not exactly the same records, but a virtual tie as Tampa is 14-7 and Florida Tech is 15-8. So the Panthers have one more win, but they also have one more loss than their opponents tonight. As far as the Panthers, 29-13-1 overall, 15-8 in the conference. And for Tampa, 27-10 overall and 14-7 in the conference. As usual, this Tampa club is very good, maybe not as good of a record as they were last year when they were the national runner-ups to Texas Tyler. And they went 48-12 and 23-7 in the conference. So maybe not as good as last year, but still a very formidable opponent. Spartans have dropped 2 in a row after winning 5 in a row, and they have had as much as a 12-game winning streak this year. They have won the Sunshine State Conference 4 years in a row. They have 4 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances. And for Florida Tech, looking to get back to the postseason for the first time in about 6 years. After winning 6 in a row, the Panthers have been on the losing side a little bit. They've lost 7 of their last 12. So just shy of 6 o'clock Eastern time, the leadoff batter for Tampa is going to be Jenna Newpaver, the third baseman, and Sammy Murphy is in the circle for Florida Tech. So the first pitch in for a called strike just shy of 6 o'clock. On a nice evening for this game, sunny, clear blue skies, and still very warm out here on this April the 24th. But it's hard to believe May is around the corner. Pitch to Newpaver is outside for a ball, so Jen Newpaver, the third baseman leading off. Batting seconds, the designated player Aubrey Zekman. Hitting third in right field, Cam Feast. Batting in the fourth position, the catcher, Kinna Kreidler. So Murphy with the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Hitting fifth will be the center fielder, Joey Trawick. Batting sixth at second base is Hannah Yetter. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Carly Salisbury. Hitting eighth in left field is Abby Johns. And batting ninth at shortstop is Kenzie Reynolds. It'll be a 1-2 by Murphy. Swung on and missed, so good start for Murph as she strikes out Newpaver on 4 pitches. And that'll bring up Aubrey Zekman, the designated player. So Newpaver was batting .305, and as far as Zekman, .273, has 5 RBIs in the year. She is 21 for 77. Swung on and missed, so let's see. Tampa's got 2 left-handed batters leading things off, and then the right-handed batter, Cam Feast, is on deck. So 1 out, nobody on, top of the first, just underway. The pitch is slapped at, and it's missed, and it's a strike. And thank goodness, ladies and gentlemen, our scoreboard is back. We went 2 weekends without a scoreboard. We were relying on the umpire for help, and umpires are very cooperative, but the scoreboard is back, and again, I mostly rely on the count. I usually know what the score is and how many outs there are, but that count can sometimes get away from you. So it is no balls and 2 strikes on Aubrey Zekman. Holds that bat high behind her head. Again, feet parallel to the plate, left-handed batter. And the pitch is just a bit outside, and it's 1-2. Tampa is a team batting .282. Again, Zekman is at .273. She is a chief threat on the base pass. She is 9 for 11 in steals. You want to keep her off of base. The ball slapped out and fouled off and out of play. Well, as far as Sammy Murphy having an outstanding year, she's 14-5 with a 2.35 earned run average. This is her 19th start. She has 15 complete games. She has 2 shutouts, and she even has 2 saves out of the bullpen. So this will be a 1-2 pitch by Murphy to Zekman. She's being shaded toward left center field and shallow, and she takes it outside, looking to slap hit it, laid off, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Murphy in 122 and 1/3 innings has allowed just 97 hits, 50 runs, 41 of the 50 earned. She's walked 33 and she has struck out 99. That's exactly 3-1 strikeout to walk ratio. The 2-2 just a bit outside, and it's 3-2. So going a full count on Zekman with Cam Feast in the on-deck circle. The one big bugaboo about Murphy is she's given up 17 home runs. That clearly leads the team, and you don't want to lead in that category. Opponents are batting .212, and the pitch in for a call, strike 3. So Murphy has started off with 2 consecutive strikeouts of Newpaver and Zekman, both looking. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the right fielder, Cam Feast, who is the team's leading hitter, batting .390. Again, the team average is .282, so she's hitting 108 points above the team average. She has a home run and 15 runs batted in. The pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Our 2 umpires, Vinyl Plate, Jose Melicio, and we got Analia Merizzi on the bases. Melicio and Merizzi. I just love those names. Spanish and I think Italian. Holy Italiano. All right, 0-1 the count on Cam Feast. The pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 0-2. If I remember, George Brett for the Royals in 1980, he flirted with 400, and what did he end up at? I could have sworn it was 390, and that is what Feast is batting. I mean, can she bat 400? She'll have to get a little bit of streak here to get up to the 400 mark. There's a high fly ball, relatively deep left field, but there's Nelson. She makes the catch, and that retires the side. So for Sammy Murphy, 2 strikeouts and a fly ball to left, a 1-2-3 inning. And Tampa set down in the top of the first inning. We go to the bottom of the first inning here at Nancy Botke Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It is Tampa nothing, and Florida Tech is coming up. All right, let's take a look at the Panther lineup under the direction of the wonderful Val Silvestrini in her 17th year. And again, I've got the odometer going as far as the number of wins in her career at Florida Tech. She is up to 467. So again, I repeat this a lot, but she's not going to get up to 500 this year. But maybe month and a half, 2 months into next year, if Florida Tech has a typical type of season, she could be ringing on the 500 doorbell, I would say in late March or early April. So we'll keep an eye on that as the year goes on. 467 and 335. That is a 582 winning percentage. All right, let's take a look at the Panther lineup, and they've had to shuffle things up because Chloe Forello has a bad wrist, and we're hoping she's going to come back next weekend when the Panthers close out their regular season against Barry. So Mandy Schwartz has been bumped up to the leadoff spot. She plays third base. Batting second will be the first baseman, Emma Chisholm. Hitting third in left field is Malaya Nelson. Batting the fourth position, the right fielder, Jillian Moeller. Hitting fifth, the designated player is Haley Ryder. Batting sixth, the catcher, Kate Rodell. Hitting seventh, the shortstop is Mia Torito. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Audrey Garuli. And batting ninth, the center fielder is Ella Niles. The pitch on the way is in for a called strike, 0-1 on Mandy Schwartz. So Mandy batting .322, has 10 home runs, 35 runs batted in. She's second in both of those categories. She takes the pitch in for another strike, and it's 0-2. She trails Emma Chisholm in the home run and RBI category, but having a solid year, leads the team in hits with 42. And the pitch in for a call, strike 3. Boy, Mandy Schwartz striking out on 3 pitches. That's the 18th time that she has struck out this year. So a strikeout for Gwen McGinnis. We'll talk about her in a moment. Here's Emma Chisholm, the Panther first baseman. Emma having a wonderful year. She has an 8-game reach base streak that she's going to try and keep alive. 441 average, 18 home runs, and 59 runs batted in. The pitcher swung on and missed. As far as Gwen McGinnis, she's out of Tallahassee. She's only 5'5". She is a senior, but she can bring it. Lincoln High School, one of the well-known high schools in Tallahassee. Her major is medical sciences concentration. It sounds pretty intense. The pitch was for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So McGinnis having a wonderful year. She is 18-4, and how about that ERA? 0.83. Can Florida Tech score some runs? They're going to have to work at it. Pitch is high for a ball, and it's 2-1. So this is her 18th start. She's got 15 complete games. She has 7 shutouts, and she has 2 saves. So good pitching matchup tonight. 2 of the best in the SSC. Murphy and McGinnis. Ball fouled off straight back, and it's 2-2 on Emma Chisholm with Malaya Nelson in the on-deck circle. So McGinnis has only given up 85 hits in 134 and one-third innings. That is amazing. That's about 54 hits, 54 less hits than innings pitched. Pitches outside 3-2. She's allowed 24 runs in 134 and one-third innings, 16 of the 24 earned. She's walked 10 and struck out 105. Wow. That is a 10.5 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. Beautiful changeup in for a called strike 3. I think Chisholm was looking for something else. So just like Sammy Murphy started out with 2 strikeouts looking in the first inning, McGinnis has struck out Schwartz and Chisholm back-to-back looking. 2 outs and nobody on. Here's the Panther left fielder, Malaya Nelson. Pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. So Nelson on a nice streak. She is 5 for her last 10. She had a 3-for-4 game. That was in the 8-0 win over Eckert last weekend. Pitch is outside for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And that 8-0 win, Florida Tech had 11 hits to Eckert's 5. 3-for-4 with a run scored, had a big 2 RBI single in that game. The pitch is hit down the right field line. It's foul. Well foul past first base. That'll make it a 1-2 count on Malaya Nelson, of course, the younger sister of Cheyenne Nelson. And if the Nelson family is watching right now, it's 3:09 Pacific time in the Great Northwest in the Seattle area, Snohomish. Not too far from Seattle. There's a ground ball third, picked up, thrown to first in time, and that retires the side. So Murphy in the first and McGinnis in the bottom of the first, spinning a 1-2-3 inning. So the Panthers go down in order, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the second. We have no score, and we'll be back. This is Panthers. All right, top of the second inning. J.C. Myers with you, FloridaTechSports.com. Again, a huge series. Florida Tech and Tampa, virtual tie for third in the conference with Tampa at 14-7, Florida Tech at 15-8. And, you know, the winner of this series could possibly solidify a playoff berth. That ball's hooked foul, severely hooked foul over toward the Tim Wakefield batting facility. It's no balls and 1 strike. The batter is Kenna Kreidler, the catcher. So for Tampa, 4, 5, and 6 in the batting order. Kenna Kreidler, Joey Trawick, and Hannah Yetter to face Sammy Murphy. No score, top of the second. Pitch on the way is hooked down the left field line, foul ball. I think it's safe to say, I hope it's safe to say that at least 3 teams from the Sunshine State Conference are going to make the postseason. Now, St. Leo's won 34 in a row, so they're going to make it. I mean, what a streak. We'll talk more about the standings in our next break, but St. Leo having a tremendous year. I mean, Tampa doing pretty well, and so is Florida Tech. Swung on a miss, strike 3. But there is an irony in that as Kreidler strikes out. So Murphy has retired the first 4, and 3 of them have been by strikeouts. That'll bring up Joey Trawick, the center fielder. Trawick just batting .232 as no home runs and 9 runs batted in. You know, again, this is a 3-game series. We'll have a noon doubleheader tomorrow. Pitch by Murphy is low for a ball. It's ball 1 on Joey Trawick. I would think the winner of this series is almost in the NCAA regional. There'll be 2 regionals, 2 South regionals at 2 different sites. Pitch on the way is in for a ball. I mean, St. Leo should certainly be hosting one of them, and somebody else, maybe out of the Gulf South Conference, will host the other. But, yeah, boy, St. Leo, I tell you, 39-2-1. They have a tie, and 24-0 in the conference, so they are definitely in, and probably hosting the regional. At least one of them. Pitch is missing, and it's 3-0. So, again, we'll talk more about the standings during the next break, but big series here. Florida Tech and Tampa. Florida Tech won 2 out of 3 over in Tampa last year. The 3-0 by Murphy is in for a called strike, and it's 3-1. So, again, Murphy has struck out 3 of the first 4 batters, but in danger of losing Trawick here with Hannah Yetter on deck. Outfield is straight away, pretty shallow against Trawick, who's only hitting .232. It'll be a 3-1. And it's in for a ball, so it's a 4-pitch walk, or 5-pitch walk to Trawick. So first base runner for the Spartans with 1 out. That'll bring up Hannah Yetter, the second baseman. So Yetter, another left-handed batter. So again, a pretty good balance in this lineup with the left-handed and right-handed batters. Pitch is outside for a ball. It's ball 1 on Yetter, who's batting .295. No home runs and 6 RBIs. This is not a team that hits a lot of home runs. They have only 4 as a team, and Kenna Kreidler is 3 of the 4. Just as I say that, probably have a good series this weekend hitting home runs. Pitch is bunted on, and it's fouled, so the runner who was running, that being Trawick, will have to go back to first base. Trawick does not have a steal this year. She is 0 for 1. Overall, the team is 42 out of 50. That's very efficient. They've only been caught 8 times. So let's see if Trawick might be running here. Again, top of the second. 1 out, runner on first. No score. Swung on and missed. Heavy swing there by Yetter. So Murphy had 2 starts last weekend against Eckerd. One was pretty good, and the other one a little bit of a struggle. Talk about it here in a minute. Again, Eckerd taking 2 out of 3 for Florida Tech over in St. Pete last weekend. There's a fly ball to left center field. Niles is over. She will make the catch. Runner halfway, that being Trawick, will go back to first base. So that is out number 2. That'll bring up the first baseman, Carly Salisbury. So Eckerd beat Florida Tech 2 out of 3. One of the wins for Eckerd was a 4-0 win, and Murphy actually pitched pretty well. She gave up 3 runs in the first and then just 1 run after that. But, again, you give up 3 runs in the first. That was a big difference in the game. She pitched 6 innings. She allowed 4 runs, all of them earned on 4 hits. She walked 4, struck out 8, and hit a batter. The pitch is hooked foul down the left field side. Almost hits the light standard and goes out of play. So strike 1 on the batter, Carly Salisbury. So Murphy with a very healthy 119 pitches in 6 innings in that 4-0 loss to Eckerd last weekend. So she picked up a loss there, and she did pick up a loss in one of the other games, a 2-0 Eckerd win, but she pitched pretty well, just didn't get any run support. There's eye pop-up. Torito will make the catch. And that'll do it for the inning. Well, that was another quick inning. So Salisbury pops up to shortstop. So the 1-out walk to Trawick does not hurt Murphy, and Tampa does not score in their half of the second inning. So we go to the bottom of the second inning here at Nancy Botke Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It is Florida Tech nothing and Tampa nothing. Well, I want to talk about my good friend Jackie Davis, who could not make the trip, and a very good reason. Jackie lost her grandfather. I've known Jackie for just about over 20 years. We did a tournament over in Auburndale, one of those like senior tournaments, softball. I can't even quite remember what it was. I think it was slow pitch, and we met there like 21 years ago. She's a good friend, good person, and I'm really sorry she couldn't make the trip this weekend, but again, her grandfather passed away, and I want to wish her well. We texted each other a few days ago, and sorry that we could not connect here, but you know, Jackie, you're in my thoughts, and certainly the Tampa family is in your thoughts with the loss of your grandfather. And I texted Jackie and said, you know what, I never got to know my grandfather. Wasn't old enough. I mean, I was maybe 2 or 3 years old with the second grandfather that I didn't meet. I probably met him, and I don't remember. So I'm glad you got to meet your grandfather and have that special connection. That's what you got to remember. Julian Mower leading off Pitch in for a called strike. It's 0-1. Moeller having a good season, batting in the cleanup spot, 271. Pitch on the way is swung on and missed. That'll make a 2-strike count on Jillian. She has a home run and 17 runs batted in. Only 2 for her last 10, but she was 2 for 4 in the Florida Tech 8-0 win over Eckert. Pitch is high for a ball. Now again, McGinnis can really bring it. 18-4 record, 0.83 ERA. Last year's second-team All-American, first-team All-SSC, and she was the pitcher of the year in the SSC, and she shows why here. She strikes out Moeller. So both these pitchers have struck out 3 of the first 4 batters by strikeouts. They've retired 4 in a row. That was before Tampa was able to get a base runner. And the pitch in for a called strike. The batter is Haley Ryder, the Panther designated hitter. So I don't know. We have the possible preview of a great pitching duel. Runs could be at a premium. That ball's hit to the right side, and a hot potato, get the sour cream out. And I'll talk more about that, because I actually do have a baked potato that I'm going to bring home. All right, so that's a 3 unassisted at first base. And let's set Tampa's defense here in a minute. That's Carly Salisbury with the 3 unassisted at first. So 5 in a row retired by McGinnis to start off. And here is Kate Rodell. There's a fly ball, shallow left center field. Center fielder comes in and makes the catch. That is Joey Trawick, and that retires the side. So another quick inning. Boy, I might be able to get home by 8:30. This game is going by really quick. So 6 up, 6 down for Florida Tech through 2 innings. We go to the top of the third. We're scoreless, and we'll be back. This is a All right, welcome back. Top of the third inning. My executive producer tonight is Jaden Fabrizio. Glad to have her aboard. And she'll be here tomorrow for all 3 games. Very nice. Well, again, we'll be out here for a noon doubleheader tomorrow. You know, again, the Panthers, they have to overcome an injury to a very key player in Chloe Forello. And, I mean, she's key because she's one of the team's best hitters, and she's one of the team's best pitchers. So you're kind of making up for 2 positions. And she has a sore wrist. Hopefully she's going to be ready for next weekend when the Panthers go down to Miami Shores to take our good friend Sean Cotter, a former associate head coach at Florida Tech, who's been coaching Barry the last number of years. And that'll be a big series for Florida Tech to close out the regular season. Pitch is high for a ball. Ball 1. Abby Johns leading things off for the Spartans in the top of the third. No scores, so 8, 9, and 1 in the Tampa batting order. It's Johns, Reynolds, and Newpaver. Pitch by Murphy is in for a called strike. That'll even the count up at 1-1. Johns batting .239, has 9 runs batted in. Second on the team in doubles with 6. Second on the team in total hits with 16. Well, actually with 21. Pitch in for a ball. 21 for 88 at the plate. 16 runs scored on the year, second on the team. So 2-1 the count on Abby Johns. Outfield straight away, relatively shallow. That ball's hooked foul over toward the Panther dugout, right off the big net, which protects the players. And it's 2-2 on Abby Johns. Now the head coach for Tampa, Leslie Cantor. She's in her 32nd year, University of South Florida grad. And again, 4 consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament and 4 consecutive regular season SSC titles. The pitch is high for a ball, and it's 3-2. You know, I mentioned about Val Silvestrini approaching 500 wins in her career at Florida Tech. Well, Leslie Cantor could get to 900 if she has a deep run in the NCAA tournament, which Tampa is not officially in yet, but I mean they're close as we have a walk to Johns to lead off the top of the third. That'll bring up the shortstop, Kenzie Reynolds. So Murphy is not allowed to hit yet, but she has allowed 2 walks. So Canner at 892 and 512. So regular season-wise, I don't think she could quite get to 900 if she wins out, but she gets into the postseason. She's going to be very close. There's a ball. It's bunted. It's a fair ball. Sacrifice successful by Reynolds. We'll move Johns up to second, so that'll be a like the Fonz, a 2-3 put out. So 2-3 sack by Reynolds. Johns on second. So Tampa trying to build a run. I tell you, I love the National League in baseball. Sacrifices, bunting. They have 46 of them. That was number 47. So Reynolds moving Johns up to second base and back to the top of the batting order. The third baseman, Jenna Newpaver, who struck out looking back in the first. She's showing bunt, and the pitch is in for a ball. It's ball 1. Oh, I guess she was safe at first. I thought she was out. Wait, what happened there? There's a bunt up the first base side. All right, so Reynolds is on at first. Guess I can't put my head down for a minute. So we got a runner at first, and there's 1 out, isn't there? All right, welcome back. Had to get some clarification on something. All right, let's see. Reynolds is on first base. And the pitch is lifted out in the left field line. It's going to be foul. All right, so Newpaver is up. She struck out looking in the first. I'll have to get some clarification in between innings. A little bit confused by something. Pitch is fouled off and out of play. And the pitch is high for a ball. Nice reeling by Rodell. That pitch had some mustard on it. All right, so Abby Johns walked. I thought there was a sacrifice, but evidently not. So Reynolds is up at the plate. Okay, I think I figured this out. Again, I'm not allowed to put my head down for a minute. I was putting in my scorebook, but ball's fouled off and out of play. So Reynolds at the plate. Forget about the sacrifice. I was talking about the fact that Tampa had 46 sacrifices coming into the game, which is a lot, especially since Florida Tech only has 26. So they have like 20 more. So they use the bunt as one of their weapons. The 3-2 pitch is fouled off, so big battle here between Reynolds, between Reynolds and Murphy. Maybe the sun's getting to me. Could be. That's okay. I'll be glad when the sun sets. Again, we don't have a 10 above us, so that sun is cooking me. I did put sunscreen on. Anyway, 3-2 coming up. Let's see if the runner is going. There's a pop-up. Torito will make the catch right next to second base and runner back to first, so 1 away. So seems like Reynolds was up for about a half hour, but she is retired. Let me go back to the top of the batting order. Here's Jenna Newpaver, the third baseman. Again, she struck out looking back in the first. So John's on at first after walking. There's 1 out, top of the third, and no score. Again, Newpaver batting .305, has 17 runs batted in. Coming in, that is second on the team. Pitches in for a called strike. And the pitch is in the dirt. Gets by Rodell. Runner to second. So I assume that'll probably be a wild pitch as Johns will move up to second base. So again, I mentioned Murphy in the 4-0 loss to Eckert. 6 innings pitched through 119 pitches. Gave up 4 runs, all earned, 4 hits, walked 4, struck out 8, hit a batter. Swung on and missed by Newpaver. It'll be 1-2. Our other start was a little bit better, 106 pitches compared to 119, so a little more efficient. 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, both earned, 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 7, and hit a batter, but didn't get any run support. Eckert won that game 2-0. In fact, didn't get run support in either game. Pitches just a bit outside, and it's 3-2. What is it? Oh, 2-2. Okay. All right, Murphy slowing down the tempo a little bit. And the 2-2. There's a little pop-up to third. Schwartz will make the catch as Leslie Canner had it back up. She's the head coach as she's coaching third base. She backtracked it very well, kind of like an NHL defenseman. Nice movement there by Leslie Cantor in her 32nd year. She hasn't lost a step at all. Here's Aubrey Zekman, the designated player. And let's see, are we going to have a change? I don't know. So Cantor talking to the umpire. Again, home plate umpires Jose Milicio and Nalia Merizzi is on the bases.
Pinch hitting is number 25, Kelsey Winters.
Okay, we're going to have a pinch hitter very early in the game. That's a little rare, whether it's softball or baseball. Kelsey Winters going to pinch hit for Zekman. Winters listed as a pitcher on the roster, 5'8" junior out of Wesley Chapel, which is not very far from St. Leo, a transfer from Iowa. Gee, what famous basketball player went to Iowa? Oh, Caitlin Clark, of course. I think Iowa's probably already on the map, but Kelsey Clark extended that map. Swung on and missed. All right, strike one the count on Winters. So again, Winters pinch hitting for Zekman. Winters just batting 136 as an RBI. She is 3 for 22. So interesting move here by Coach Canner. There's a high pop-up. Who's going to take it? Torito will make the catch, and that retires the side. So, Sammy Murphy able to get out of the jam. The pop-up to Torito. That's already her third put-out at shortstop. So, nothing across for Tampa, and there after the third inning. We go to the bottom of the third inning here at Nancy Botke Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It is Florida Tech nothing and Tampa nothing. Let's take a look at the conference standings. I've talked a lot about St. Leo. They're actually idle this weekend. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. You've won 34 in a row. I mean, they started out 5-2-1, and now they're 39-2-1. So they've won 34 in a row. They probably don't want the weekend off, but that's just the way the schedule turned out. So they're in first place, and they're going to win the conference. They're 5.5 games up on Eckert. Now, it's interesting, in the latest Southern Regional poll, the teams aren't ranked, but the teams are listed as far as the ones that are favorites to win, to get into the NCAA tournament. And Eckert is not actually amongst that group. They're in second place. They're at Rollins for a big series. And then Tampa and Florida Tech tied for third, virtual tie. Rollins is at fifth at 14-10. So Eckert and Rollins, big series. Pitch on the way is fouled off. Again, you know, when they consider the teams for the NCAA tournament, I mean, standing in your conference is certainly important, but Eckert's in second place, and they're not really in the conversation amongst the 10 teams that are being considered for the NCAA tournament. Pitch misses for a ball. So Mia Torito's leading off. 7, 8, and 9 in the batting order. Torito, Garuli, and Niles against McGinnis. No score. Bottom of the third. Pitch in for a called strike, and it's 1-2 on Torito. Mia batting just .216, has 4 homers and 12 RBIs, 24 for 111, so she's actually gotten a lot of that .216 average. Pitch is high for a ball. They're leaving the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So again, Eckert and Rollins big series tonight, as is this one, Florida Tech and Tampa. Pitch on the way, a little bit of an off-speed pitch, and it's fouled straight back by Torito. Well, still plenty of sunlight out here. The lights have come on. The sun into a slow set at 6:32 Eastern time. And it'll be even hotter tomorrow with that noon doubleheader. There's a ground ball, a little roller hit to third. Throw to first is in time. Nice play by Newpaver. Torito's retired, 1 away. That'll bring up Audrey Garuli, the second baseman. Let's take a look at Tampa defensively. Carly Salisbury is playing first base. Hannah Yetters, the second baseman. Kenzie Reynolds at shortstop. Jenna Newpaver at third. We'll check the outfield in a moment. So here's Garule, the Panther, second baseman. Ground ball sharply at the third. Nice snag by Newpaver on to first in time. Newpaver, quick move at third base. She already has 3 assists. Second one of the inning. 2 outs and nobody on. That'll bring up the center fielder, Ellen Niles. In left field is Abby Johns. In center field, Joey Treywick. And in right field is Cam Feast. Like, a Thanksgiving feast. Kenna Kreider is catching, and Gwen McGinnis is pitching. The pitch is in for a called strike, 0-1 on Ella Niles. Ella batting .257, 4 RBI. She is 26 for 101. A tough player to strike out. Just struck out 7 times in this her 102nd at bat of the year. The pitch outside for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strikes. So Ella is finishing up her collegiate career out of Hesperia, California, northeast of Los Angeles. Ball's fouled off left side. And nice catch off the net by the catcher, Kenna Kreidler. Kreidler's one of the few players back from last year's team. This Tampa team, again, national runner-up to Texas Tyler, who has won the national championship 2 years in a row. Pitch on the way is a check swing foul over to the left side. They lost a lot of their players from last year's team, but Kreidler is back. Most of the other ones are gone. Still a good Tampa club, but again, last year 48-12 overall. This year 27-10. Still a good record. Pitch is in for a ball, very close, and it's 2-2 on Niles. So Tampa's going to get to 30 wins. Will they get up to 35 or 36? That's the question, but they won't get to 48. There's a little chopper hit to short. They have to hurry to get her. And they got her. That was the shortstop, Reynolds, on the play, throwing out Niles. Well, I'm looking at my scorebook, and Florida Tech does not have a base runner yet. 9 up and 9 down, set down by Gwen McGinnis. So we go to the top of the 4th inning here at Nancy Botke Field on the campus of Florida Tech on a little bit of a windy late afternoon, but sunny, clear blue skies overhead. We are scoreless, and we'll be back. This is Panthers. All right, we go to the top of the 4th inning. We have played 3 innings in about 37 minutes. So we are moving along on this beautiful Friday evening. So this is the second to last Friday in April, where we move on to May pretty soon. All right, Cam Feast is going to lead off for Tampa. Here in the top of the 4th inning, great pitching duel between Gwen McGinnis and Sammy Murphy. The pitch is in for a called strike, 0-1 on Cam Feast, the team's leading hitter. She flew out to left field back in the first inning, again coming in and batting .390 with a home run and 15 runs batted in. Leads the team in triples with 3, slugging .561, and on base .469. There's a little bleeder hit the second. Garuli has to hurry. Throws the first in time. I'll tell you, Feast can get down the line, but she's thrown out by Garuli. One away. That'll bring up the catcher, Kanna Kreidler. Kreidler struck out swinging against Murphy in the second inning. So Murphy started off striking out 3 of the first 4 and does not have a strikeout since. Pitch on the way is what? No swing. So it's low for a ball. Ball 1, no swing by Kreidler. So Murphy is not allowed a hit yet. She has struck out 3. She has walked 2. And McGinnis is not allowed a base runner. She is 9 for 9 and setting the Panthers down. The pitch in for a called strike. That'll even the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. So again, the Spartans have dropped their last 2. That was after winning 5 in a row. Again, they've had as much as a 12-game winning streak this year. You know, last year going 48-12, they had a 28-game winning streak. Pitch on the way is high for a ball. Not quite as good as St. Leo, who again has won 34 in a row, and again they are sitting around, I assume, till next weekend. Boy, they're going to have a week off to think about winning 34 in a row and trying to figure out how to keep it going. Pitch on the way is in for a called strike, and it's 2-2 on Kanna Kreidler. Again, Joey Trawick is in the on-deck circle. Slight breeze blowing out toward right center. Old Glory getting a little bit of a workout. So for Murphy, this will be a 2-2. And it's in for a ball. Very close, but 3-2 is the count on Kanna Kreidler. Key player back from last year's team. Batted .254 last year. She's improved in this year, .321. 3 homers, 22 RBIs. Again, she has 3 of the team's 4 homers for the year. Swung on and missed. And Murphy strikes her out.
Next to bat, number 1, Joey Trawick.
So 4th strikeout for Murph. 2 outs and nobody on. That'll bring up the center fielder, Joey Trawick, who walked back in the second inning. So I'll tell you, my scorebook is looking very simple. No runs have been scored, a few walks, and no hits for Florida Tech. Pitches in for a ball. It's ball 1 on Joey Trawick. Again, Joey coming in, batting .232, 9 RBIs. Leads the team in sacrifice flies with 2. They only have 7 of those. She has 2 of them. Pitch by Murphy is in for a ball. It misses. And it's 2-0. Trawick out of Jacksonville, went to the Providence School. They have 20 players listed on the roster, and 14 of the 20 are from Florida. Pitch in for a ball, and it's 3-0. 1 player each out of North Carolina, Illinois, Michigan, Texas, Oklahoma, and California. Well, those Californians just seem to get to the East Coast, whether it's college baseball or college softball. They want to get out of the Golden State and come to Florida. The pitch is in for a called strike. It'll be a 3-1 count on Trawick. Hannah Yetter is in the on-deck circle. So 3-1 by Murphy is a fouled ball behind home plate. So again, last year, Tampa, 48-12, 23-7 in the conference, won the conference for the 4th straight year. Again, 4th consecutive trip to the NCAA tournament, and they had quite a run in the postseason. I'll go over that maybe during my next break. Pitches in for a ball, ball 4, and Murphy has now walked 3 without giving up a base hit yet. That's actually the second time she has walked Trawick. So 2-out walk to Trawick here in the 4th inning, no score. And here's Hannah Yetter, the second baseman. She flew out to center field back in the second inning. So there have been no hits by either team so far, and we're in the 4th inning. Pitch by Murphy is fouled off by Yetter. So 48-12 last year, 43-11. In 2024, 44-5 in 2023. They were 28-2 in the conference in 2023. So this has been a powerhouse team in the conference. Again, 4 consecutive regular season titles. Ball's lifted behind third base to left field, foul territory, and a beautiful sliding catch by Malaya Nelson. Bring back memories of Rusty Staub from the 73 Mets, the Rusty Staub sliding catch. That was beautifully done by Nelson, and that retires the side. It was a foul ball. If she would have dropped it, it wouldn't have been much harm, but makes a nice sliding catch. The inning is over. A walk to Trawick does not hurt Murphy. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Nancy Botke Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It is Tampa nothing and Florida Tech nothing. Let's take a look at that postseason for Tampa last year. I mean, they did not win the national championship. They came ever so close. But in a regional they hosted, they beat Spring Hill 4-0. They beat Nova 7-5. They then lost to Barry in 8 innings, 1-0. But then they defeated Barry 4-0. So they won that regional. They hosted the Super Regional. Lost to Auburn Montgomery 5-0, so they were on the brink of elimination. But then they defeated Auburn Montgomery in the next 2 games, both by the score of 5-0. And then they went to Chattanooga for the National Championship Series. They defeated Shippensburg 6-0, defeated Central Oklahoma 4-3, defeated Pace 4-2, but then they lost back-to-back to Texas Tyler 6-0 and 3-0, and their season was over. But what a run. They were 8-4 in the postseason. I mean, that could be something to be very proud of. It is tough to win a national championship, and it's even tough to get as far as they did, the national runner-up. Pitch on the way is in for a ball 1. As leading off for the Panthers here in the bottom of the 4th, top of the batting order, it'll be Mandy Schwartz, followed by Emma Chisholm and Malaya Nelson. No score here in the bottom of the 4th. That ball sliced down the right field side, and that one is out of play.
Number 28, Emma Chisholm.
Did that got caught? Do you see who caught it? Is it the right fielder or the first baseman? I thought it was out of play. The right fielder caught it? Okay. All right, folks, at my angle, I don't have the greatest look. That was actually a foul fly to the right fielder by Schwartz. I thought that ball went out of play. That ball's hooked foul over toward the Tim Wakefield batting facility. So Schwartz is out. That ball was caught by Cam Feast in foul territory. All right, so 1 out, nobody on. The Panthers still do not have a base runner. 10 in a row set down by McGinnis. Here's Chisholm, who struck out looking in the first inning. Pitches in for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Emma Chisholm, who's having a wonderful season. Again, 8-game reach base streak, batting .441, 18 home runs, and 59 runs batted in. The pitch is a changeup, and it's fouled into the glove of the catcher. That's Kreidler, and it's 1-2. Leads the team in hits with 60, doubles 10. Total bases, 124, slugging 912, on base 510. So she has loaded up the offensive categories. Pitches in for a ball. Wow, where was that pitch? That one missed. It was so close, 2-2 the count on Chisholm. Emma out of Valrico, adjacent to Tampa. There's a high pop-up to short. And caught by the shortstop. Looks like she had a little bit of a battle with that, but Reynolds makes the catch at the left of second base for out number 2. That'll bring up Malaya Nelson, the Panther left fielder. She grounded out to third in the first inning. So again, Malaya is 5 for her last 11 overall. She has a 6-game hitting streak going, batting .333, 44 for 132, pitching for a called strike, and it's 0-1. No home runs and 12 RBIs, and like Niles, she hardly ever strikes out. She has struck out just 3 times this year. The pitch is high for a ball. That'll even the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Has 6 doubles, 44 hits, again out of 132 at-bats. Pitch by McGinnis is outside and high, and that'll run the count to 2-1 on Malaya Nelson. That ball sliced foul down the left field line. Again, the Nelson family I've got to know the last few years. Again, Cheyenne, really one of the great players to come through this program, the older sister of Malaya. But the big question is, are the Nelsons happy with the Seattle Seahawks draft picks last night? I don't know who the Seahawks drafted, but they're Seahawk fans. Just a bit outside, and it's 3-2. Yeah, in case you missed it, the NFL draft was last night. I actually watched that for a couple of hours. It was an interesting theater. That ball is sliced foul. That will be right into the Panther dugout. Fortunately, it was a floater. Nobody harmed. And it's 3-2 on Nelson. So, again, in Snohomish, Washington, it's just after 3:45. Pitch is low, and Nelson works out the walk.
Next up at number 24, Jillian Moeller.
Well, if Gwen McGinnis was thinking about maybe a perfect game, which she has done in her career, that has gone by the board. She still has the no-hitter going. So she retired the first 11, and now Nelson with a 2-out walk. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. Heavy swing and a miss by Moeller, who struck out swinging back in the second inning. So McGinnis has struck out 3 and now walked 1, and again, it's not given up a hit yet. Moeller trying to change that here. There's a changeup, and that's a beauty on the inside corner, in for a strike, and it's 0-2. I think Moeller probably did not agree with that call. Again, out of Rockland, California, but her mother's currently living in Vero Beach and in the process of moving up to Melbourne. Ball's fouled off and out of play. She made me aware of that recently in a previous homestand. Again, Rockland, not too far from Sacramento, but that was in the past. So 2-strike count, McGinnis to Moeller. And it's swung on and missed. Moeller strikes out, and the inning is over. So the walk to Nelson does not hurt McGinnis. And that is the 4th strikeout for McGinnis. So nothing across for Florida Tech. In the 4th inning, we've played 4. There's nothing across for anybody. We are scoreless, and we'll be back. This is a Panther Softball at Florida. Am I back?
Next up at number 33, Carly Salisbury.
All right, top of the 5th inning. We have played 4 innings in about 50 minutes. J.C. Myers with you, FloridaTechSports.com along the SSC Digital Network. Pitch in for a called strike, and leading off for Tampa on the top of the 5th is Carly Salisbury, their first baseman. So 7, 8, and 9 in the batting order. Salisbury, Johns, and Reynolds against Sammy Murphy. What a pitching duel between Murphy and McGinnis. Bunt is put down. Can Murphy get her at first? Oh, the throw's a little offline, and we'll have to see how they score that. It went off the glove of Chisholm. Looked like Chisholm should have caught the ball.
Batting number 23, Abby Jones.
What's that? E3? Okay. Well, that's a dropped ball on an error there by Chisholm. So that's too bad. So Salisbury's on first with nobody out. And there's Abby Johns, the left fielder. You get the feeling that runs are going to be at a premium in this game. You cannot make mistakes. So hopefully the Panthers will be able to overcome that. Here's Johns, who walked back in the 3rd inning. So Murphy still is not allowed a hit. Pitches in for a ball. It's ball 1. So Murphy has walked 3, and then there's the error. So 4th base runner for the Spartans. And let's see if See if Salisbury might be going here. Bunt is put down. Murphy will throw to first in time. 1-3 sack. And moving up to second is Salisbury.
Now, batting number 20, Kenzie Reynolds.
So that was the 47th sacrifice bunt for Tampa this year. I don't know if that leads the conference, but that is a lot. Again, Florida Tech has about 20 less. So these two teams have different approaches to try to win. Whatever works. Here's the shortstop, Kenzie Reynolds, who popped up to short in the third inning. That one is floated on the left field base hit. Possible play at the plate. Here comes the throw in, and they're going to stop her at third. And Rodell has to go up the line to field the ball, and when she does that, taking second on the base hit down the left field line is Reynolds. So Reynolds is on second base. So good job by Nelson to get it in, but the throw was offline, and fortunately Rodell kept it in front of her. Otherwise, that could have been a bit disastrous. So runners are on second and third and one out. We go back to the top of the batting order. The third baseman, Jenna Newpaver, who was 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the first, hit a foul pop-up to Schwartz at third. And time is called as Newpaver steps out of the batter's box. So this is the first time that Tampa's had two base runners in one inning. And it's second and third, so big moment here. Get no score in the fifth. The pitch is hit to short. That's going to score a run. Throw to first is safe at first. So that's going to be an infield hit for Newpaver. It's going to be an RBI, and Tampa is on the scoreboard. It is 1-0 for the Spartans. So Salisbury scoring on the play. And Reynolds goes from second to third. So now we got runners on first and third with just one out, and Leslie Cantor is going to make a move here. I'm guessing maybe a pinch runner. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, it's going to be a pinch hitter. It's going to be Makia Brumbelow-Neal. So it was Winters who pinched hit for Zekman in the third inning, and now pinch hitting for Winters is Brumbelow-Neal. Pitches in for a strike, attempted steal second. It's cut off, it's loose, but the runner does not advance from third base, so that is a steal for Newpaver. So just a moment ago, Tampa at second and third. They have second and third again. They have one run in. And the pitch by Murphy is hooked foul down the left field line. So again, Micaiah Brumbelow-Neal out of Moore, Oklahoma. Boy, Oklahoma just getting devastated with too many tornadoes. What a tough place to live. Boy, every day you have to, be worried about tornadoes coming in. It's usually the small towns that seem to get it. You know, Tulsa and Norman, I don't hear much, but just small towns just getting ravaged by tornadoes. So hopefully the people in Moore are doing okay. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitches in the dirt, blocked. And, I guess it hit her. Okay. That's a hit batter. So, pitch hitting for Winters was Brumbelow-Neal, and she gets hit by the pitch. And that brings up Cam Feast. The two umpires get a huddle here on something. So we have a little bit of mystery theater going on. That usually pops up at least once. So I'm not sure. Oh, they're telling her to come back. She didn't, make the effort to get out of the way. And Leslie Cantor wants a little bit of an explanation here. The umpires have some splaining to do. Cantor's asking Brumbelow-Neal, well, did it really hit you or not? Oh, we're going to go to the headset. Gee, we just can't go through one game without a replay. So the previous play is under review. And I'll tell you what, we'll keep it out here. Val Silvestrini's going to come out to the pitcher's circle to talk to Murphy. The pitching coach is going to come out as well. That should be Tina Velasquez-Rolon. So we got a lot going on. The umpires are going to take a look at this one. In fact, it's going to be the base umpire, Analia Merizzi, who's going to take a look to see whether the pitch actually hit her, that being Brumble O'Neill. So again, recapping the inning, that drop ball by Chisholm was huge at first base. Salisbury reached. Salisbury was sacrificed second by Johns. A single by Reynolds. And then an RBI single by Newpaver on an infield single. And that drove in Salisbury, and that's where we are, 1-0. And when we resume, Tampa's going to have runners on second and third and one out. So we're waiting for the umpire decision. We're looking for Mrs. Marizzi to reappear on the field. Well, again, remember, we're out here tomorrow, a 12 noon doubleheader. We hope you can join us, or either join us at FloridaTechSports.com or come out here in person. Again, a doubleheader of softball between two really good Sunshine State Conference teams. Again, these two teams are in a virtual tie for third, with Tampa at 14-7 and Florida Tech at 15-8. And here comes Ms. Marizzi. Let's see what the decision is. So what happened? Okay, what happened? I mean, she's got to speak up out there. I can't hear her.
Well, hit by pitch, but then they changed it. She reviewed it, and they keep it stands. Not a hit by pitch, it's a ball.
Oh, so she's at the plate still.
Stay on the plate.
Okay, thank you. All right, Brumble O'Neill is still at the plate, so they ruled it not being a hit batter. Pitch is high for a ball. So they reviewed it, so score one for, I guess score one for Florida Tech on that one. Sometimes replay can be very confusing. So Brumble O'Neill still at the plate. She did not get hit by the pitch. Second and third, one out. The pitch is inside, and I think that one did hit her. Maybe we could review that, but I doubt it. All right, so Cam Feast is coming up, and now the bases are loaded with one out. The Panther middle of the infield is going to play pretty deep. Of course, a possible ground ball. Florida Tech will probably try and come to the plate. Schwartz and Chisholm are even with their respective bags. Chisholm at first, and Schwartz is actually creeping in. And the pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. It's 60 feet between the bases. I mean, Schwartz is probably 55 feet away at third base guarding the line, and Chisholm is a little bit farther back, a little bit wide of the bag. Well, again, 1-0 Tampa. They've just scored here in the fifth inning, bases loaded and one out. And the pitch to Feast is hooked foul. Boy, that is a severe hook. That almost makes Rick Stoller's soccer field, but goes off the big net. So it's a two-strike count on Feast, and if there's a batter you want to have two strikes on, it's Feast. Again, she comes in batting at .390, but she is 0 for 2 in this game. A fly ball to left and a ground ball to second. So she might be due for a hit here. Murphy has to buckle down. The pitch is high for a ball, and it's 1-2. So Reynolds is on third, Newpaver's on second, and Brumble O'Neill is on first. It'll be a 1-2 by Murphy to Feast. High for a ball, and it's 2-2. So for Florida Tech, could be feast or famine here. Florida Tech's hoping it's a little bit of famine. Last time I'll use that cliche. So 2-2 the count. Murphy collecting her thoughts, back on the rubber. And the 2-2 pitch is hooked foul again. Boy, the Tim Wakefield Bag Facility getting a lot of visits from foul softballs. Again, both teams use that facility, both the baseball and the softball teams. I'll have to check in with baseball pretty soon and see how they're doing over in Tampa. Again, the Tampa baseball team has won the last two national titles against softball, national runner-up last year. The pitch. Oh, I think it hit her in the elbow and a little bit of pain. She will go down. That'll be a painful RBI for Feast. That will score Reynolds, and it's 2-0 Tampa. That'll move New Paver to third and Brumble O'Neill to second. So back-to-back hit batters by Murphy to Brumble O'Neill and to Feast. So the bases are loaded. Tampa's broken through here in the fifth with 2 runs, up 2-0. Still only 1 out, and there's Kenna Kreidler, the catcher. She's been up twice. She has struck out twice, and you know what? I think that's going to be it for Murphy. That's the second trip to the circle. So I think she has to be pulled. I mean, Val Silvestrini went out there to the circle, so I don't know. Tina Velasquez-Rolón having a chat with Murphy and Kate Rodell into the conversation. By the way, I've got to thank Kate Rodell's dad for bringing me a baked potato, which I am going to have when I get home. Again, Kate Rodell, I think the first Idahoan to play for Florida Tech, and I mentioned a lot about Idaho and potatoes, and I guess Mr. Rodell heard enough of that and said, I just got to get JC a baked potato. I've got the sour cream at home, so I'm all good. And the way we're going, I might get home early, but this game has suddenly slowed down in the fifth inning. 2-0 Tampa. The pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Kreidler. So again, Murphy has 4 strikeouts, and 2 of them have been against Kreidler. She'd love to make it a hat trick here on Kreidler and not advance any of the runners or score any more runs. The pitch is in for a called strike, and she gets ahead 0-2 on Kreidler. Again, Kreidler batting .321, 3 home runs, and 22 runs batted in. Leads the team in both home runs and RBIs. Co-leader along with Salisbury in doubles 7. Leader in total bases 53. The pitch is fouled off. That one is straight back over to the left. And the count remains 0-2 on Kenna Kreidler. Kreidler out of Newport Richey, which is north of Tampa. Not very far, maybe half hour, 45 minutes, depending on traffic. So Murphy could really use a strikeout here. The 0-2 pitch, just a bit high, and it was high, 1-2, more than just a bit. Now the sun again going into a slow set. The lights are on. They haven't taken full effect yet. Still the part of the field still basked in sunshine. It'll be a 1-2. There's a foul pop up and out of play. Boy, I tell you, we're moving along. I think this inning is about 20 minutes old, and there's still only 1 out. So, I mean, we played 4 innings in about 46 minutes, and now it's been about 15 or 20 minutes just playing here in the top of the 5th. So 2-0 for the Spartans. It'll be another 1-2 by Murphy, and it's another foul ball. So I'll tell you, she could hit 20 more foul balls in a row, and she'll still be at the plate. Said about 3 or 4 already. So good battle here between Murphy and the batter Kreidler. And, of course, that benefits Kreidler because all it does with Murphy is it drives up her pitch count. So Murphy back on the rubber, collecting more thoughts. And the 1-2 is another foul ball out of play. That's going to hit the concession stand, I believe. No, it just missed it by that much. So 1-2 the count. So that's about 4 foul balls in a row by Kreidler. So good battle here between one of the best pitchers in the conference and really one of the best catchers in the conference, Kreidler. So it's another 1-2 pitch. And it's just a bit high, and it's 2-2. So again, twilight time here at Nancy Botke Field. Hopefully the weather will be good tomorrow. Probably be a lot harder. We're starting at noon, doubleheader, 2 7-inning games. Here's the 2-2. And it's high, and it's 3-2. Murphy did not want to go 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and the bases are loaded. The 3-2 is high for a ball. Ball 4, and Tampa gets another run. Kreidler with a bases loaded walk and an RBI, and it's now 3-0 Tampa. So New Paver scores. Brumbelow goes to third. Feast up to second. And Kreidler on at first with the BB RBI. So 3-0 for the Spartans is the eighth batter in the inning. The center fielder, Joey Trawick. There's a fly ball to left field. That's probably going to get a run home. Runner tagged at third. Here comes the throw to the plate. And it's a lot closer than I thought. Throw to third is not in time. So good throw out there. That was by Niles. A lot closer play than I anticipated, but sliding in with a run is Brumbelow, Neal, and it's 4-0 Tampa. So give Trawick a sacrifice fly to center and an RBI. That also moved Feast up to third and Kreidler up to second. So it's now second and third and 2 outs. And here's Hannah Yetter. So the Spartans have batted around, the ninth batter in the inning. There's a fly ball left, Nelson under it, and makes the catch, and that retires the side. So a long inning, which took well over 20 minutes. Tampa batting around. They scored 4 runs. They did so on just 2 hits because there were 2 hit batters, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. So we have played 4.5 innings here at Nancy Botke Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It is Florida Tech trailing it to Tampa by the score of 4-0. Again, we'll keep it out here. We'll take a break after the bottom of the 5th inning. So coming over for the Panthers, it's going to be 5, 6, and 7 in their batting order. Haley Ryder, Kate Rodell, and Mia Torito. And let's see, we got a score in baseball. Oh, very good there. Tampa 1, Florida Tech 0 in the bottom of the 4th. My thanks to my stellar executive producer, Jaden Fabrizio, for bringing that up. Well, tough series there for Florida Tech baseball. Again, Tampa's won the last 2 national championships. Florida Tech in baseball, they usually struggle against Tampa, especially going to Tampa. I can't remember the last time that the Panthers won a series over in Tampa. It's been a long time. And Tampa, once again, in baseball is very, very good, leading the baseball side of the SSC. All right, the Panthers with some work to do, and they only have 1 base runner. Nelson walked with 2 outs in the 4th inning. McGinnis is not allowed to hit. The Panthers are down 4-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch to Ryder is swung on and missed. So again, Ryder, Rodell, Torito, 5, 6, and 7, trying to solve the complex puzzle that is Gwen McGinnis. Pitches high for a ball. Again, McGinnis, stellar year last year, All-American second team, All-South Region first team, Sunshine State Conference Pitcher of the Year, and first team All-SSC, as you might imagine. You know, if you're going to be All-American, you're certainly going to get first in your own conference, and just quite a pitcher. Tampa's had them a lot over the past few years. That ball's hit down the right field line, and that'll just be a base hit for Ryder. So if McGinnis was thinking about a no-hitter, that thing is gone, and Ryder with a single. So Ryder pulling that ball nicely down the right field line, about 10 feet fair. That'll bring up Kate Rodell, the Panther catcher, who flew out to center field in the 2nd inning. And Samantha Shorter is going to run at first base for Ryder. I imagine Ryder will probably re-enter. Not totally sure about that, or maybe Shorter will stay in the game in the outfield spot. So again, Kate Rodell comes up, and again, my thanks to her dad for giving me a baked potato. Because again, Kate Rodell's from Idaho Falls, Idaho, and I've been out here 21 years, and I don't recall another player from Idaho playing for Val Silvestrini. So I guess there's a first time for everything, and Rodell's had a good year. She's a very good defensive catcher as well. The pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Kate's been in a bit of a slump lately, though. She is 2 for her last 18. She did have a 2-for-4 game, though, in that 8-0 win over Eckerd last weekend. That ball's lifted to second. It's going to be a double play. Well, it was a soft liner to the second baseman, Yetter, and getting too far off first was Ryder. Or actually not Ryder, Shorter. Or Shortle. Jeez. And that's a double play, 4-3. So the runner out first is a race. There's 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th. Pitch is high for a ball. Good check of the swing there by Torito. 1-0 on her. Torito ground ball third back in the 3rd inning. And the pitch is high for a ball. So with that double play, McGinnis has only faced 1 above the minimum. Again, the 2-out walk to Nelson back in the 4th. But then gets the single by Ryder, erased by the double play hit into by Rodell. Pitching for a strike, and it's 2-1. Well, I can guarantee you one thing. McGinnis is going to pitch one of the games tomorrow. And the other one could be Travers or Steffes. That ball hit down the left field line. It's a fair ball barely, and it's caught by Abby Johns, and that retires the side. So Torito flies out the left, and Florida Tech, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left in the 5th inning. We've played 5. It is 4-0 Tampa. So we'll be right back. This is Panther Softball. Okay, we go to the top of the 6th inning. Again, the difference in this game, Tampa scored 4 in the 5th. Otherwise, it's been goose eggs galore in the other innings. But 4 spot putting Tampa in charge of this one, 4-0, and Carly Salisbury is leading things off. Pitch on the way is in for a ball. It's ball 1. I always got to double check for pinch hitters because Leslie Cantor's already used 2 of them. But this is Salisbury, who plays first base, and Salisbury began the rally by reaching on an E3 by Chisholm, who simply dropped the ball on a throw by Rodell. Pitch is high for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes, so they check the swing. She did not swing, and it's 2-0 on Carly Salisbury. Well, Salisbury out of Riverview, Florida, over on the West Coast, not too far from Tampa. The pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 2-1 on Salisbury. Salisbury coming in, batting .289, 16 RBIs. Co-leader in doubles with 7. Co-leader in runs scored with 18. The pitch is a high pop-up down the left field line. Can Nelson get there? Yes, she can. She makes the catch. 1 away. Nelson's been pretty busy in left field. Counting it up here, 1, 2, 3, 4 putouts. 4 putouts in left field. 2 of them are in foul territory. So fair and foul territory for Nelson. Here's Abby Johns, the left fielder. She has walked and put down a 5-3 sacrifice. Check swing, ground ball third. Schwartz to first. Slow, but caught very well by Chisholm for the out. 2 away.
Next to bat, number 20, Kenzie Reynolds.
And that'll bring up Kenzie Reynolds, the Tampa shortstop. Reynolds, 1 for 2, pop up the short, and a single. And then after that, Tampa started scoring their runs. New paver with an RBI single. There was a RBI and a hit batter, RBI and a walk. As this one is hit into center field, that'll be a base hit. So 2-out single by Reynolds keeps the inning going for the top of the batting order, the third baseman, Jenna Newpaver. Newpaver is 1 for 3. In fact, she singled in the first run of the 4 in the 5th inning. Well, then you had a bases-loaded hit batter, you had a bases-loaded walk, and you had a sacrifice fly scoring the other runs in the inning. So Newpaver again is 1 for 3. She has scored a run. The pitch is outside for a ball. Well, right now there's a little bit of sunshine. It's on the left side of the diamond in front of the Panther dugout. Foul territory and just a little bit in fair territory on the dirt. The whole right side is in shadows. The pitch in for a called strike, and it's 1-1. So the sun is slowly setting at 7:17 Eastern time. So again, Newpaver, the batter, out of North Reddington Beach, Florida. Swung on and missed. Went to Osceola Fundamental High School. Wow. I'm guessing that's Osceola County. Slightly open stance from the left side. Again, runner on first with 2 outs. Swung on and missed, and Murphy gets out of the inning with another strikeout. Her strikeouts kind of slowed down a little bit. I mean, she had 3 through the first inning and a third, and just 2 in the last 4 innings, but she does get Newpaver to strike out here. The inning is over. So Tampa does not score in the half of the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Nancy Botke Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It is Tampa 4 and Florida Tech nothing. Okay, J.C. Marles with you, FloridaTechSports.com. So Florida Tech with some work to do in the bottom of the 6th, trying to erase at least part of this 4-0 deficit. And they got to do it with the bottom half of their batting order, 8, 9, and 1, Garuli, Niles, and Schwartz. So again, the Panthers, they've lost 7 of their last 12. Again, they lost 2 out of 3 to Eckerd last weekend. I mean, one of the wins was an 8-0 win, but then they got shut out in the 2 other games. So actually, all 3 games last weekend against Eckerd were shutouts by the winners. And again, Eckerd took 2 out of 3. Again, the interesting thing about Eckerd is they're not really being considered for the postseason, even though they're in second place in the conference. I find that kind of interesting. Pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1 in Garuli, who grounded out to third back in the 3rd inning. Well, again, regional wins are really important. It's almost as important as winning your conference games. Pitch is high for a ball, so I would think there would be some hope for Eckerd to get in the postseason. I mean, when you're in second place in the SSC, you would think, I mean, they're having a good season. They're 29-8 overall and 17-4 in the conference going into tonight. There's a fly ball, shallow center field. That'll be caught by the center fielder, Treywick. 1 away as Garuli is retired. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Ella Niles, who grounded out to short back in the 3rd inning. I mean, I know regional games are important, but Eckerd's had a phenomenal season, and it'd be really a shame if they don't get in just because they don't have enough quality regional wins. They still have to play St. Leo. That'll be tough. Pitches in for a ball. It's ball 1 against St. Leo. 34-game winning streak, but they are idle this weekend. So they could sit around and count up those 34 wins, but I think they're off until next weekend. Pitches a foul ball. They probably wish in their schedule that they had a midweek game. I don't think they do, though. You know, usually this time of year, you're just doing the weekend. You know, you have midweek games early in the year to get the players all revved up, but it'll be interesting down the stretch. I mean, there's really the biggest battle is going to be for 3rd place. The pitch missing 2 Niles, and it's 2-1. You know, again, Tampa and Florida Tech are tied for 3rd, and they're 8.5 games out. Boy, can you imagine being in 3rd place and you're 8.5 games out? That tells you what the type of season St. Leo's having. It's a foul ball off of Niles, and it'll be a 2-ball and 2-strike count. So you wonder about St. Leo. I mean, if they don't win the national championship, is their season considered a failure? I don't think so. If you win 34 in a row, that's a special season. Winning a national championship is tough, as Tampa found out last year. Pitches inside 3-2. I mean, Tampa had a phenomenal season. Unfortunately, they got blanked by Texas Tyler in both of their championship games, 6-0 and 3-0. In fact, they only get 2 hits combined in the 2 games, 1 hit in each game. So that Texas Tyler team, Must be really, really good. The pitch is a strike call, and that is strike 3 on Niles. She is done, and there are now 2 outs. So that's the 5th strikeout for McGinnis. We go back to the top of the batting order. The third baseman, Mandy Schwartz. Schwartz, a strikeout victim, McGinnis in the first inning. Also had a foul pop-up down the right field line, caught by Feast. Pitches in for a ball. It's a ball 1. There's a high pop-up, shallow right. Feast is under it. She makes the catch, and the inning is over, and Gwen McGinnis is pitching herself a one-hit shutout through 6 innings. So the Panthers, for the 4th time of the game, go 1-2-3. We've played 6, 4-0, Tampa. We'll pause and be back. This is Panthers. All right, welcome back. Top of the 7th inning. Sammy Murphy out for another inning. So in 6 innings, she has struck out 5. She has walked 3. She's also hit 2 batters, and that really hurt her in the 5th inning when Tampa scored 4, and that's the difference in the game, 4-0 for the Tampa Spartans. She's given up just 3 hits in 6 innings, but again, the walks and the hit batters really hurting her in the 5th inning. So Tampa leading things off. There's a pop-up to shallow left field, and Nelson makes the catch. Or you know what? I think that's Shortle now playing left field. So Shortle's come into play left field for Nelson, and Shortle makes the play. And that'll bring up Cam Feast, the right fielder. Feast or famine again. 0 for 2 and got hit by a pitch. So she's looking for her first hit of the evening. There's a bunt. And did that hit her inside the box? I think it did. So it's simply a foul ball. It's going to be 0-1 on Feast. So if they're good news for Florida Tech, Feast does not have a hit, and she comes in batting .390. Let's see, Feast. Looks like she was not on the team last year. So what an addition. .390. Home run, 15 RBIs. Leads the team in triples with 3. Slugging .561. Hits this down the left field line. It's foul. Foul ball. I think the Tampa bench is like signaling that was fair. No, that was foul. That was to the left of the line. They're kind of going crazy there in the dugout. I don't know why, but that was not very far from actually going out of the park, probably about 10 feet or so. But it's simply a long foul ball. All right, Leslie Cantor having a discussion, I believe, with Feast. All right, 2 strikes to count. So again, 4-0 Tampa here in the top of the 7th inning, trying to win the first game of this 3-game series. The pitch is hit to left field. Coming in, Shortle will make the catch. So again, Shortle coming in to play left field for Nelson, and already has 2 putouts here in the 7th inning. So 2 up, 2 down. Here's Kenna Kreidler, the catcher. She has struck out twice, and she's also walked, and she did that with the bases loaded, so that got her an RBI. The Panthers are going to have 2, 3, and 4 in their batting order in the 7th inning. Chisholm, Nelson, and Moeller. Pitch is high for a ball, so the good news is Florida Tech will be at a good spot in their batting order. Again, the bad news is they got to at least get 4 runs to extend the game. And the pitch by Murphy to Kreidler is a high pop-up that is straight back behind us out of play. So again, really very little. The only sunlight really is on the Panther dugout third base side. Otherwise, the sun is just about set on this beautiful Friday evening, April 23rd. As the season is coming down to the home stretch. The pitch in for a called strike, and it's 1-2. Again, Florida Tech will be on the road next weekend to take on Barry. Baseball is going to be here to take on Barry. And right now, over in Tampa, Florida Tech is hanging on to a 1-0 deficit. Tampa leading in the bottom of the fifth. Pitch in for a ball, 2-2. A.J. Weidra's on the mound. He's pitching a fabulous game, but, like the 73 Mets, they just don't score a lot of runs. They got to get Wydra some runs. Can you buy me a run instead of buying me a vowel? The 2-2 pitch is a high pop-up foul, straight back, so long at bat here by Kreidler against Murphy. So we'll keep an eye on baseball as the evening progresses. But, again, baseball is going to close out their regular season against Barry next weekend, while Florida Tech softball goes down to Barry. That'll be a nice 3-hour trip down Interstate 95 to Miami Shores. The 2-2 is low. That's a ground ball, actually, and it's 3-2. And then Florida Tech will have to wait around because the regular season does not end for most of the SSC teams. They're going to be playing most of them 2 weeks from now. But Florida Tech's season will end, as far as the regular season, next weekend. The pitch is inside for a ball. It's ball 4, and walking is Kreidler with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. That is the 4th walk issued by Murphy, and it's the 2nd time that Kreidler has walked. Looks like Leslie Canner's up to something here. I think it's going to be a pinch runner. It looks like 17. Lennox Ulrich out of Plant City. Actually, Ulrich. That's what we'll go with. Ullrich. Evidently pronounced Ulrich. Out of Plant City, not very far from Tampa. Not Plant City High, though. Durant High is her high school alma mater. So, again, pitch runner at first is Ulrich. Ulrich for Kreidler. Here's Trawick, 2 walks, and also a sacrifice fly, which capped off that 4-run 5th inning. She takes the pitch in for a ball. It's ball 1. So Murphy just trying to get out of this inning and keep it at a 4-run deficit. Pitches in for a ball. I don't know how often it happens in the Sunshine State Conference when 2 teams meet, how often where one team scores a bunch of runs in 1 inning and then doesn't score in any of the other innings, and how often that happens. But, again, that's the difference in the game, 4-run 5th. Otherwise, Tampa did not score in the other innings. Ball lifted to left field, and Shortle will make the catch, and Shortle actually had all 3 putouts in the top of the 7th inning, again coming into play left field for Malaya Nelson. So, 2-out walk to Kreidler does not hurt. We'll keep it out here. It is going to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is Tampa 4 and Florida Tech nothing. Again, coming up for the Panthers, good spot in their batting order. If they're ever going to try and have some sort of an explosion, it's Chisholm, Nelson, and Moeller, 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order. Well, if you win 34 games in a row, as St. Leo has done, you're thinking you're the number 1 team in the country, according to the latest national poll. Well, they got to be number 1, and they are. So St. Leo's the only Sunshine State Conference team that is ranked in the top 25. Auburn Montgomery, a team that Florida Tech lost to twice this year, is number 7. North Georgia, who I think Florida Tech split with them, they're number 8. So the Gulf South Conference is going to be battling the Sunshine State Conference to see who gets the 7 bids to the NCAA tournament, because Tuskegee is probably going to get in from the SIAC, and then there's 7 more bids up. There are 8 bids in the South that are up for grabs. And, Florida Tech is in the conversation, but, if they lose this series, they could be in a little bit of trouble. So, again, doubleheader tomorrow, and unless Florida Tech rallies here, Tampa will strike first in this series. Here's Emma Chisholm, pitch hit for a called strike, and it's 0-1 at Emma, who's 0 for 2. She has struck out looking, and she has popped up to short. So she is 10 for her last 23. So on a good roll lately, pitches in for a called strike. Again, overall average for Chisholm coming in, 441. The 0-2 is very high, and it's 1-2. Boy, McGinnis is still bringing it. Again, working on a one-hit shutout. She has struck out 4, and she has walked 1. She's only allowed 2 base runners in 6 innings. Pitches a check swing, a foul ball. Again, the only blemishes, a 2-out walk to Nelson in the 4th, and then a single by Ryder in the 5th. And Ryder got erased on a 4-3 in the air double play. And that erased Ryder, and so she's only 1 above the minimum. There's a ground ball in the hole, base hit to right field. Chisholm has to hustle down the line, and she does make it to first base. Again, it's softball. If you hit it hard to right field, you better be running hard because Feast picked up the ball up and fired it to first base, but Chisholm did beat it with some time to spare. So only the second hit allowed by McGinnis. Good start for the Panthers, but they need several more base runners to make this bottom of the 7th inning interesting. There's going to be a pinch runner for Chisholm, and that's going to be number 9, Jacqueline Golden, who is out of Pasco, Florida. I believe that's up near the St. Leo area. Well, Florida Tech can get this to the extra innings. No doubtedly Chisholm will re-enter, but the Panthers have to get it to the 8th inning, and they need at least 4 to do so. So, again, Florida Tech, they did not score in 2 of the 3 games against Eckerd last weekend. Again, when they did score, they got the big 8-0 win, but, again, they lost 2-0 and 4-0. So they're trying to get on the scoreboard here, and Nelson, again, one of the 3 base runners, walked back in the 4th inning. The pitch to Malaya is in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. So 0-1 the count. Time is called. There's no pitch clock in softball, and I hope there never is, because in baseball there is, and it kind of drives me crazy. There's a foul ball down the left field line. I mean, softball moves really, really fast. I don't think the pitchers really have to have a pitch clock. They usually release the ball within about 3 or 4 seconds. So Nelson has 2 strikes on her, has to protect the plate here. Again, Chisholm on, or actually the pitch runner on first. Hit it to left field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Falls in front of the left fielder.
Next to bat, number 24, Jillian Moeller.
Again, in left field is Johns. Oh, the Panthers, for the first time of the game, have 2 runners on base in the same inning. Back-to-back singles by Chisholm and Nelson. Here's Jillian Moeller, and well, Leslie Cantor's not taking anything for granted. She's having a powwow in the circle with her entire infield. She does not want to let this game certainly slip away or even become halfway interesting. Jillian Moeller is going to be the batter. She is 0 for 2. She has struck out twice. Again, 5 strikeouts for McGinnis. She has walked 1. And she's given up 3 hits, but she's given up 2 of them here in the 7th inning. So Florida Tech is trying to make this more interesting, and Bowler's had a good year. Again, Jillian batting .271, a home run, and 17 RBIs. No need to try and hit a home run here. That only cut it to 4-3. Just try and get on base. Haley Ryder is on deck. So first and second, nobody out here in the 7th. 4-0 Tampa. The pitch is swung on and missed. Looked like Moeller's trying to hit that west to Osceola County. So no balls and 1 strike. Has 1 homer on the year. The pitch is high for a ball. Good take there. It was high and outside. 1-1. Jillian, again, out of Rockland, California. But again, her mother, at least, has moved to Vero Beach. Ball's fouled off, and Moeller in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So I could say pretty safely the sun is set Very nice, beautiful evening at 7:37 Eastern Time. The pitch is high for a ball. I'll tell you, McGinnis, it is really tough to read her. I mean, that ball gets in fast. You have a split second to make a decision whether you want to swing the bat. So Moeller, good layoff there. It's 2-2. The 2-2 is a changeup, beautiful but low. Good take by Moeller. Very disciplined at bat. It's 3-2. I think Moeller would gladly take a walk here. Anything you can do to get on base. The pitch is swung on and missed. So big strikeout by McGinnis. That is strikeout number 6. And that's actually the third time Moeller struck out, so she has struck out thrice in the game. And Haley Ryder is going to come up. Val Silvestrini is going to send in another pinch runner. Juliana Hines will pitch run at first. And she'll pitch run at first for Nelson. Okay. That's interesting. Nelson's got pretty good speed. Well, there's a reason behind the decisions that Val Silvestrini makes, so that's an interesting one. All right, one out, runners first and second. Bottom of the 7th inning, Tampa 4-0. Pitch is low for a ball. It's ball 1. So Haley Ryder, the batter, again, she batted .378 last year. Things have been a little bit tougher for her this year, but still batting .274. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Again, Ryder has not played near the number of games that she did last year. This is her 28th start. She had 40 starts last year. Pitch on the way is high for a ball. Throw to first is not in time. So Kreider keeping the base runner at first. That is Hines, pitch running. So we got 2 pinch runners on the base paths. The pitch is swung on and missed by Ryder, and it's now 2-2. Kate Rodell is on deck. Outfield straightaway, relatively shallow. Pitch by McGinnis is swung on and missed, and Ryder strikes out. So back-to-back strikeouts by McGinnis of Moeller and Ryder, and Florida Tech is down to their final out of this one. Trying to keep it alive will be Kate Rodell, the Panther catcher, who is 0 for 2. She flew out to center field and then hit into a 4-3 in the air double play, and this one is in the air, and it's going to be caught, and the ball game is over. Kenzie Reynolds makes the catch, and Tampa's taken the first game of this 3-game series by the score of 4-0. Let's do a quick wrap-up of this one, and then we'll say sayonara until 12 noon tomorrow. So we're going to be back here in about 16 hours for a Sunshine State Conference doubleheader. Well, I'll tell you, for the first 3 innings, it was all Gwynn McGinnis and Sammy Murphy. Again, McGinnis, I mean, she really the entire game, Florida Tech only had 2 base runners in 1 inning, and that was actually in the 7th inning. Otherwise, Florida Tech really didn't threaten to score. Sammy Murphy pitched 4 shutout innings and then ran into trouble in the 5th inning as Tampa sent 9 batters to the plate. They scored 4 runs. They did so on only a couple of hits. There were 2 hit batters. There was a walk and also a sacrifice fly. So Tampa scored 4 runs in the 5th inning, and that held up for the 4-0 win. Florida Tech tried to rally in the 7th inning, back-to-back singles by Chisholm and Nelson. But then Moeller, Ryder, and Rodell all made out, and Tampa held on for the 4-0 victory. So with the victory, Tampa improves to 28-10, 15-7 in the conference, and Florida Tech falls to 29-14-1 and 16-8 in the conference. And we got some good news about baseball. Unfortunately, the game is not over. It's far from over, but in the top of the 6th inning, the Panthers lead Tampa, the 2-time defending national champions, 2-1. I mean, can Florida Tech hold Tampa to 1 run on the baseball side? That would be quite an achievement. I get the feeling the Panthers are going to win the game. They're going to have to get some more runs. But I look forward to going home and maybe catching the last couple of innings. I mean, will both of them make the postseason? I think one of the two will, but will both of them This is a big series, so we'll have to find out what happens tomorrow. So we will join you at noon tomorrow for a SSC doubleheader, Florida Tech and Tampa. My thanks to my wonderful executive producer, Jaden Fabrizio, who's going to be out here tomorrow, and she'll be able to track baseball tomorrow and do a great job in putting in our commercials. So Tampa 4, Florida Tech nothing. Thanks for watching the softball side. We'll talk to you